Hey everybody, we're just going to start this show officially, technically right now. So, welcome to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment, the first live daily photo show on the YouTubes every weekday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. So listen, here's what's happening right now. I started immediately because this live one we're going to leave up today because I want to have the full actual live experience because we are broadcasting using this guy right here, the Pearl-2. So we're going to get into exactly what this is, but we're also going to wait a moment to let the live audience build up and let everybody find the channel and tune in. Meanwhile, I need to very quickly share this with a friend who wanted to watch. So I'm gonna take advantage of this moment to do that while you guys start filling up the chat. I see that coming up right here, right now, and hopefully, let's see if I can figure out my own system here. I can share this with a friend. So this is going to be interesting because this is completely different than what we're normally seeing, and hopefully, hopefully everything's working great, and hopefully everything's in sync. I want to hear about the sync. I want to hear about the video quality. I want to hear everything. I want to know how it looks on that end. That is all part of the game. So, okay, give me just a moment here. Figure out where this thing's actually showing. There we go. There's the live watch page that I wanted. Oop, don't want you. Go away. So I can share this with a friend. Going live. Oops. Live now at. Oops, that is not. Oh, crap. I copied the URL and it didn't. So now I got to do this whole thing over again. Back to the YouTube. Back to the scheduled broadcast. Look at all the chat comments coming in. This is awesome. I will respond to those momentarily. Let's try this again. Do not play audio. Copy. Oh, that would be the problem. Copy. Special today, aren't I? There we go. That's the one that I wanted. Super. That is sent, and I can close that so we don't get any audio looping through, and we should be good to go. So, comments. Let's see what's happening in. Hello from Portugal. Hello, Jess. Hello, Jorge. Hello, Sully. Hello, John. Good morning, Alexander from Paris. Excellent. God, I love Paris. Let's see here. Someone says there, Jorge, I don't know if it's George or Jorge. I'm going to go with Jorge. Says, I'm trying to find some info about the EVF of the GH5. Do you have any info about it? Well, tell you what, I'm going to have a GH5 again middle of next week, so you can ask me anything you want then. Save your questions till then, because then I'll be able to look at it and tell you. Hello, Novak. Hello, Tarbax from Belgium. Hello, Technocrats. Hello, John Morby. And he's asking you, Jorge, what you want to know. So that's awesome. Thank you. And let's see what we're going to do. Okay, I think, yeah, that's good enough. We've chunked it on long enough. Let's get this thing started. So here's the deal. As I said, today we are broadcasting from the Pearl-2. And this is entirely through the Pearl-2. So and you'll see in a moment, I have completely torn this apart. Like every day, I swear to God. Tear this whole thing apart so I can do something different. And I'm not using the ATEM today. All the switching, everything is going to happen through this box. So let's talk about what this thing is to start. The company's called Epiphan Video. This little box right here is called Pearl-2. 2 because there was a Pearl-1 and this is now the 2. And the idea behind the Pearl-2 is it is a live streaming device and a switching device. So you can feed in multiple sources, as you're going to see here momentarily. You can rearrange layouts just like I would do on the ATEM or like you might do in Wirecast, where you put a picture-in-picture, you can do text overlays, multiple video sources, all that sort of thing. Save those layouts, and then you can switch between them live. The device handles the encoding and streaming to the interwebs, which is, of course, what it's doing right now. It's streaming up to YouTube. And it's a simple RTMP, RTSP, RTMP, whatever it is, streamer, which means you got to punch in your address and your key, and then it goes. So basically, any streaming service that provides that information, which includes Facebook, Facebook does as well. If you create a scheduled event, you can get the key and the address, and then you just drop that in, copy and paste that in, and hit go, and you're on. I mean, that's basically all there is to it. But we're going to look at all that. One of the really cool things about this device so far, and I'm just going to go right up, one of the really cool things that I like about it is I can feed in a bunch of different sources and they do not have to match. I do not have to have identical sizes, frame rates, and so on. I can mix and mash sources in here and this device will do the transcoding to whatever format I want to output. That is really, really cool because what I've been playing with on the ATEM, that is my main switcher, one of the big drawbacks of it, as incredibly awesome and powerful as it is, one of the big drawbacks is that I have to feed it exactly the same for every source. It has to have exactly, in my case, 1920 by 1080 at 24p or 24 hertz. Has to be exact. If it's off by a little bit, even 23976 hertz, doesn't work. It will not see it. It will not sync. It has to be perfect. So this, though, I can just feed a bunch of stuff into it. In fact, I can even feed in a USB webcam. And that's ridiculous, but it's cool. So let's just do a quick little switch here, and you'll see, there we go, that is a USB webcam, right? I mean, how crazy is that? I'm feeding in a USB webcam off of the, let me switch back to the main source, through this device. That's kind of neat. You can feed anything to it. So let's take a look at the sources that are on here. Let's take a look at what I got plugged in to start, and then I'm going to show you a bit of the interface. So let's see here. Let me switch to this camera over here. And that is a GX8. There we go. That's the right one now. Yes, it is. So that's a GX8, which is running at 30p. The GH4 that was originally plugged in, it was running at 24p, and the webcam is, you know, God knows what it's sending out. It's sending out whatever the hell it wants to set out. So let's use this camera to take a quick look around. So actually, I think I'll do it this way. I'm going to go over to the other side so that I can make sure that I'm showing you something accurately. Let's tilt this thing down. And so there is the back of the device. Let's get my LCD around so I can actually see, and let's focus on this thing. There we go. So I've got plugged in right now 2 HDMI ports. You see a HDMI A and B. And then next to it, the empty ones are HDMI A and B in 4K. I'm not using those because I'm not feeding in 4K, but if I was, that's what I would use. One of those is this camera right here. That is on B. Yeah, that's right. That's plugged into B. A is my computer. Over here, I've got an SDI input. That is coming off the GH4, so that's in place. And then, let's see here. And then you've got the webcam. That's the webcam coming in on USB. And Ethernet port, obviously, for our network connection power. And then you have analog audio inputs here. Now, one of the things that I already ran into, I wanted to run my analog audio. Let me set the camera down and refocus that and come back over here. I wanted to set the analog audio on my wireless lav kit. And let me just send the camera, put the other camera back up. It's easier to talk to this one here. There we go. I wanted to set up the wireless lav, which I am on right now. I wanted to set that plugging directly into the device, but what we figured out in setup is that it is expecting line level, not mic level. It does not have phantom power, so you need to send in powered audio. And even the powered audio from the lav isn't enough. It's still mic level, not line level. So what I ended up doing was I've routed the audio into this camera right here, which appears to be working. And then I'm using that audio for all the sources. So I'm going to show you the layout in a moment, but as you're setting up your layouts, you can choose video and audio separately. So I can choose this camera for video, but that one for audio, this one for video, but that one for audio, and so on. So let me take a quick look at the comments, because they're flying by here, and see what I might be missing. Let's see here. Thank you, Jorge, for the congratulations. John says, oh, you're talking about the EVF. That's great. Nice, and it sounds awesome. That's good to know. And Sully says the ability to use different frame per second hertz, et cetera, for the Pearl-2 is super good, and it really is. This is a big part of it. Okay, let me show you the front of this thing too. Let's see. We'll use this camera again. I'm gonna switch back over to this camera here. Let me focus on it, and then I will switch to the source. And there we go. Focus. Let's get these cables out of the way, and switch back to the source. Now the source switching. Actually, I can do it right here. Let me do this. You can do your source switching on the interface itself. So I can like tap on the USB webcam, for example. That's the USB preview. So that's this camera here. So I'm pointing to that one, the USB camera that is over there. And then if I tap it again, it's going to switch to that. So now I'm on that webcam camera. I can go back to the GX8, pull that up, and there's back to this camera here. So I can do the switching on this interface through a touch interface. And I think we're going to build some more. I think once I get more, I can scroll through. Actually, we're going to find out. I'm not really sure. And then there's the computer interface as well. So we're going to look at that in a moment. Or I can do all this on the computer screen. So I've got a similar layout here. So there's my computer. I can go up here and say, oh, let's go to the USB webcam and switch, and that switches there. So you see that it takes a moment. One of the things that you're used to seeing, let's go back to this camera here, on my setup, what I usually have is this instant switching. I tap it and it's instant. And in fact, some of them I've built in a delay. It's kind of funny, so that I can tap the screen, get my hand away, and then it switches. So you don't always see me. So if you've ever wondered, sometimes you see me switch it, sometimes you don't. That's why. Because if I'm on a computer screen and I switch back to this camera, I've got built into my switching macro, my preset, a delay. So I tap the switch, get my hand out of the way, and then it goes. Here, you can load this interface, the one you just saw, up on an iOS device, and I haven't tried that yet, but you can. And then you can tap and tap to load, but it is always 2 taps. There is no, what do they call it? Instant live? I think that's what it's called. There is no instant live. We'll pretend that's what it's called. It might not be. Where you can just tap the source and have it go. You do have to tap twice. So that is, for a fast switching situation, I'd say that is maybe a downside. I mean, most people who are doing this are not doing what I'm doing and trying to self-produce. So that's, that's just insanity, let's face it. Normal people who are doing this for a living, who are doing the switching, you've got a controller, you're sitting there switching it. So having that ability to preview it and then push it to live is what you want. Auto live, that's what the term is, when you tap it and immediately goes live, it's auto live. Anyway, so this is all working great. So let's take a look at the computer itself, and then you can see some of the interface on here. So everything you can do, I shouldn't say everything. A lot of stuff you can do through the interface here, but you really need to plug in a computer and get to it. And the way you do that is just over the network. So this once it's connected to your network, it creates an IP address, which you can then log into on Chrome or Safari, whatever, on your browser, or anything with a web browser. You could use a Chromebook for this because it's all just web-based. So the IP address, let me just show you how you find that. Let's go back to this view again. Let's go to this camera. There we go, so that I can show you this. So we're going to go back to the front, make sure that is focused. Excellent. And so from here, I can go back, go to my settings, system status, and there I see the IP address. So 10.0.1.15. So that's the IP address that I need on my my system over there. So then I just go over here and I plug it in, and I don't know if you can actually read that. Let's focus that. It doesn't matter, you believe me. It says 10.0.1.15 there. Okay, so let's set this back, and let me go back to, well, let's actually just go ahead and switch over to the computer interface now. I have been told that my audio went out, so maybe I did not set up the audio on the computer source. So let me, oh, I didn't, look at that. Okay, well, I'm going to show you how this works, and I'll be able to show you what I did wrong. Let's see here, let's set that up. SDI audio, save that. And, okay, now it should be right. Okay, now back to the computer, now it should be right. Yeah, okay, my bad. So let me show you what I did. So this, we're now looking at the interface. This is one of the sources. This is the computer source right here. And you can set your audio source separately down here. And so what happened was I had not set an audio source for the computer, which is why you were just in silence, momentary silence there. So let's go through this tour. Let's go through what we've got here. So you've got, when you first set it up, when you first plug it in, you're going to have 2 channels here, Auto A, Auto B. And skip those, you're going to create your own. So I created my own, YouTube, PhotoJoseph's Photo Moments. That's what this is. Within this, you've got your most important thing are your sources, and then your streaming, so where we're sending this out. So let's start with the sources. Under the sources, you create these layouts. And you see here it says create new layout, and here's 4 that I've already created. And I can actually switch to them right here just by clicking this little red button. It's going to switch to that layout. But let's take a look at add a layout. So if I go add new layout, let's do it, and we'll call this a let's do a multi-up. We're going to do a multi-up layout. And then down here I build it. I say add a new item. We'll add a video source. And I'm going to add the, let's see here, there's my GH4. Nope, that's the wrong one. Not HDMI, SDI 4K. There we go. There's the GH4. So we've added that. And now I can reposition this wherever I want. I can scale this however I want. But I want to do a multi-up. So we're going to go ahead and just put that in the corner there. And I could add another item. Let's put a little text layer on top of that. We're going to call this GH4. And it's now monstrously big. Let's shrink that down. And we'll stick that in the corner. Okay, so there's that layout. All right, next up, let's add another new item. We're going to add another video source. We're going to choose the webcam. Webcam. Let's see, that's on USB-A. So there's my webcam. We'll stick that over here in the corner. I could label that. I'm not going to bother. I don't want to go crazy on all the labeling. And let's add another source in here, another video source. And this is going to be the, let's see, HDMI B, which is the other camera. So there we go. There's all three cameras. Let's shrink this down a little bit. And we're not seeing this live up here. You don't worry that you're not seeing it live. That's just a frame grab for the layout purposes. And click on Save. And that should be it. So now I should be able to switch that multi-up. And there we go. We are live on the multi-up. And look at that. Everything's in sync. This is kind of cool. I can look at any one of these cameras. Everything's in sync. Oh, you know what? Audio. I did not set audio. Audio is coming through the USB. That's terrible. Let's get that fixed. Audio's there. Okay, so that's now we should be up and running. Now you got the right audio. So I had neglected to enable the audio, but it had, for whatever reason, grabbed the audio from that mic. So if the audio went really weird for a while, that was because it was coming through the webcam. But that's, I mean, there you go. That's kind of cool, right? We got this all set up. Let me take a look at the comments real quick before I continue on. Let's see here. Orion is saying that you're noticing the video is brighter than before when I wasn't using the Pearl-2. Well, that's because it's a different camera. So normally I've got my Blackmagic studio camera. This is not the studio camera because the studio camera is SDI that's running through the walls up into, I wasn't going to rewire that. So we're just on a GH4 here. So that's why the video looks different. And then there was silence. We got it figured out. And multiple windows live. Yep, that's awesome. There you go. So Sully's stoked on that. Love that. Yeah, so there you go. So that's how that works. Okay, now let's take a look at the streaming part of it. So let me go back to my computer source. Okay, now we're back to the computer. And let's look at the streaming setup. So I go down to streaming, and you'll see stream 1. That's what we're looking at right now. And there is the address and the key, which I shouldn't show publicly, but there you go, I am. And so that's how that works. So that's all happening right there. Now, if I wanted to, this is what's crazy cool. You know, we're gonna, should we do this? Should we try and simultaneously live set up a stream to Facebook? This sounds like a really bad idea. Okay, we're gonna do that at the end. But you would basically just create a new RTMP, push, and off it goes, and that's it. So we're gonna try it because that would just be madness. You can also record. Now this is really slick. So it has a built-in, I think it's a 500 gig drive, and you can set whatever format you want. Not whatever, but you can choose formats that you want in here. So you can see here, this is recording MP4 files in 30-minute blocks, 8 gigabyte limits. And you can set this wherever you want. So I can hit change on here, and I can say, give me up to a 6-hour single file or 64 gig file limit. File type can be an AVI, MPEG, .mov, and so on. So MPEG 4, I can name it however I want, and then off it goes. And now I am not recording this locally because I'm daft that way. I should have been recording this locally, but I'm not. I start recording now, and there it goes. But we are going to be relying on the show that is on YouTube. So hopefully it works. You can see the files here of previous recordings that I did, and you can also, this is really, really cool, you can have it, where we go, automatically upload the file. So I don't have it enabled right now, but I can automatically upload the file to, let me go to a different source here, to a variety of destinations. And I think it was FTP destinations, Amazon S3, I believe, were in there. Or you can have it copied to a USB drive. You can access the files on this over the network, so when it's done, I can just copy it over. Or I could have it automatic, if I needed to sneakernet it, I could have a USB drive connected to this, have it set to automatically copy the file to the USB drive, so as soon as we're done with the live program, I can grab that USB drive, run it over to another computer or somebody else whose job it is now to encode a final file, you know, whatever it might be. We have a lot of flexibility in there. Really, really cool. That's kind of the overview that I wanted to show you today. Now, we're going to do this again, possibly tomorrow. I might wait till next week. But one of the big things about this is the 4K version. This has the 4K upgrade. And so I wanted to get confirmation of the price of this. Let me see if I didn't hear back. So I've been saying this is an $8,000 configuration. I think that's right. If I'm wrong, I will correct that. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Yep, $8,000, $78.75 with 4K. So this is obviously not cheap. But let me say this about the pricing on here. While it's a lot of money, for what it does, it's not. And here's why I say this. My ATEM switcher, which is admittedly more, I have more inputs and I have more control over the layouts and so on, is a $4,000 box. And that's all that does is handle the input and then the output, not any of the encoding or streaming. So on top of that, you have to have something to encode and stream to. As we have discovered, things like, I don't have it in here now, but like my VidU, which is a $1,000 dedicated streaming device, wholly unreliable for too many things, I've stopped using it. I'm so disappointed in that because I wanted that to be this perfect little, doesn't do it. So that means you need a computer with software. Now I've been using Wirecast, which is a $500 app, but of course it requires a few $1,000 computer to run that with. So now you've got the switcher, you've got your computer with the software, obviously cabling in between them, we can ignore that, that's relatively low cost, but you're basically at the same price as this, and it's less portable. That ATEM thing is huge. This is designed, now they make a bigger version of this, it can be rack mounted, but this is designed to be portable. You saw in the original unboxing, which if you haven't seen that, we'll stick that up here, the original unboxing for this. It comes in a nice big Pelican style, super heavy duty case. So it's meant to be dropped into this case and carried all over the world. You can save your configurations out to a text file, XML file, whatever, that you can then reload. So if you're all set up for a show for one client or for some type of production, you can save all those settings and then immediately replace the settings file with another one that's set up for another show, another event, and have all those configuration files in place. You can save all of that work, which is really cool. I can do that on the ATEM as well, but it's nice to be able to have that on here. You got the monitor on the front that you saw. You can do the live switching from there or just monitoring. You have a headphone port on the front for confidence monitoring. Overall, it is a really robust, really cool device. Now, I mentioned that this one has the 4K upgrade, and this is what we're going to do either tomorrow or early next week. I can feed in 4K signals and do 4K streaming. Super. But even more cool than that is I can feed in 4K signals and then do punch-ins onto the video to build different sources. So that means, let's say that this camera you're looking at right now is 4K, but I'm going to do a 1080p output. Well, 4K is double the width, double the height of 1080p. So I could do a punch-in and lose no resolution. I could punch in just to my face and have a second camera that's my face. Let's say I'm doing a side-by-side interview with someone. I could have one camera that's a wide shot, a punch-in close-up for person A, a punch-in close-up for person B, and switch between those with one camera. So I could take this device, a 4K camera, mics and lights obviously, that's separate, and do a three camera, like that, a three camera stream, three camera show with one camera through this device with the 4K upgrade. Now that is exceptionally cool, and we will do that, like I said, either tomorrow or next week. We are also, so we're going to do 2 more shows with this. We're going to do that show, that'll be a 1080p with 4K source and punch-ins, and we're going to do a show where we're actually streaming 4K, which I should have the bandwidth here. I got 30 megabit up, you need at least 15 up to do it, so it should work. So fingers crossed on that. We'll be able to do a 4K show through this thing. Yeah, kind of cool, right? So I'm pretty impressed. Let me see what else is coming on in the comments here, and otherwise, I think that's it. Oh, and we're going to do the Facebook thing. That's right. Someone just mentioned that. So we're going to do the Facebook version. Is there a cheaper version that can do this for people like me? Cloud are saying, well, not of the Pearl. The Pearl is designed to be a high-end device. There's 1,000 different streaming solutions out there. But believe me, and I say this from experience, the less money you spend, the less reliable it's going to be. It sucks to say that, but that's the truth. So, and I've been, oh, I didn't even tell you, I've been using this to stream the last few days of shows. It's been through the ATEM, through my normal switching procedure, but instead of feeding into my computer through Wirecast, it's been fed into here and streamed through this. So I've been using this for a couple of days now, purely as a streamer, not as a switcher, and so far it's been flawless. You guys have seen the show has been looking great, no dropouts, no problems, so that is really, really good to see. All right, what else is going on here? People talking about the cost. Yeah, $8,000 with the upgrade, $6,000 without the upgrade being the 4K upgrade. And you can add on the upgrade. It's a software upgrade, so you can add that on later because all the hardware is built into it, so that's nice. Which is great, right? So you can buy this for 1080p, and then when you need the 4K upgrade, you can add that on later. So Sully's asking me, so it'll be cropping on a digital signal. How does it crop? That we will look at when we do the 4K show. And there you go. And John's saying you want one. Well, good. If you decide you want to buy one, there's an affiliate link down below. Please use that. It is worth, oh, you know what? Here, I want to say this because I should have said this at the top of the show. Epiphan sent this to me to review. I'm not being paid for this review. This is not a paid endorsement. I'm receiving zero compensation. And believe me, given that the thing's $8,000, they want it back. I'll keep it if they want to let me keep it. Wink, wink. But yeah, they're going to want this back. So this is not paid endorsement at all. If you like it and you buy it with the affiliate link, that's the only money they're going to make off of this. So important to say that. I actually am really enjoying it. I think this device is really cool. And for what it does, if I was in the business of doing live broadcasts for clients, like going into clients' buildings and doing it, this would absolutely be, I mean, I don't say this is the device I would buy. It is absolutely a device that I would consider. Clearly, I'm going to still do shopping, but this thing does what it's supposed to do, and it's been working flawlessly, and that is bonus right there. Okay, let's try and set up a live Facebook stream. Okay, I'm going to build a switch. Let's go back to this source here. And let's go to the computer. There we go, back to the computer. And I'm going to create a new layout first, because I want to do a layout that's kind of a side-by-side so you can see the picture and my computer screen. So let's do a video source, and we're going to go with the HDMI 4K. Nope, that's the wrong one. I keep doing the HDMI. SDI 4K, there we go. There's that camera. We're going to put this, and let's see if I can crop this. Okay, oh, cool. I haven't even played with this yet. Let's crop it. We're going to pull in this side. We're going to do it like this. Okay, crop. Put this off to the side. Let's make this big. How do I do this? There we go. Let's make that big, like so. Oops, come here, you. Like so. Perfect. Stick that. Why can't I move this? Hello? Oh, there it goes. Oh. That's weird. Why can't I get past the edge there? I must be doing something wrong. Cropping, that's all set. Okay. I can't move this over, which is super annoying. Let me see. Let me turn off these. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm not sure what these checkboxes actually do, but I'm disabling them, and now I can put it where I want. Perfect. Okay. Now let's add a new item, video source. We're going to do the computer itself, which is HDMI A. Yep. There's that. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Let's change the order. Super, there we go. Oh, nice layout. I like this. This is a nice layout interface. This is pretty slick. And good. Okay, perfect. Save that. And let's put this one live. So now, let me rename this actually. This is me plus Mac. There we go. Let's set Okay, there, we got audio back. Yeah, sorry. I keep forgetting when I build a new layout to add the audio source to it. Keep forgetting to do that. But you didn't miss anything. So now this is working. We are going to do something. What you missed was me saying that what I'm going to do now is utterly idiotic, and no one should ever do this live. There we go. Glutton for punishment. Sorry about the no sound part, guys. Really sorry about that. Okay, so let's set this up. So my Facebook page. I think I have a preset for this somewhere. Live dashboard for PhotoJoseph. Here we go. So here's what we're doing. I'm going to build a Facebook show right now and then start streaming to it. And so you guys who are watching this, you should simultaneously load a Facebook window and stream it there too. Just because I want to see that we're streaming both to YouTube and Facebook, which technically is against the terms of service of Facebook, but I'm sorry, guys. That's just stupid. So we're going to ignore that. All right, so I'm going to create a new live show. And there's my address and my key, so that's the information that I need. So I'm just going to copy this all to, here, copy this to the clipboard, my server URL, and my stream key. I've just copied both of those to the clipboard. Next, and we're going to say what's on my mind. And what's on my mind is utter madness. Come on. This is a live stream, a simultaneous live stream from the Pearl-2. Okay, so there's that. We're going to title this Madness, Utter Madness. And now I need to drop these keys in here. So I'm going to go back to my switcher, back to here. I go back to my streaming setup, add a new stream, RTMP push. URL is going to be that. Stream name is that. Is that right? Let me make sure I got that right. Stream key, that's the stream name. Yep, the 1 ends in a 0. 1 ends in a 0. That's great. Apply. I don't think I need the username in there. I don't know. Are we going to hit start? It's starting. Okay, it says it's starting. It says it's starting. All right, we got a countdown. It says it's streaming. Let's go back to Facebook and give that a moment and see if that picks up in here. This always takes a minute for when you start the stream before it shows up on the other end. So give that a minute. Fingers crossed. Hope this works. This is going to be so cool if this works. And if it doesn't work, it's only because I set it up wrong, because this is what it's designed to do. Here, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to take a look at the questions. Royal Grom, you want to see it. What do you want to see? You want to see, I don't know what you want to see. 140 plus, okay, I don't know what you guys are saying. No sound, yes, sorry, we got that fixed. Sully's saying, Joseph, when you do the 4K stream, can you show with one of the other cameras the lighting setup you use? I'll show it to you right now, but I am going to do a full demo, I promise. But I got 3 LED lights on 3 homemade diffusers up here. Just a big old light bank. Why isn't it showing up here? Okay, I did something wrong because it's not showing up here, which is super, super bummer. Let me try one more time. Let's see. Server URL, stream key. Okay, well, I'm doing something wrong because this does appear to be all set up right. That's too bad. Let's try one more thing. Let's go to the key. Yeah. Okay, I'm doing something wrong, but this is what it's designed to do. So maybe we'll do this another time. We'll do the full-on setup. Here, let's go to my multi up there because that's a cool setup. I'll do, next time I do one of these, I will simultaneously stream to Facebook just because we can. You want to see the lighting setup? Here, you can look at it in this camera. That's what you get to see. 3 big old light sources with 3 homemade diffusion panels. That's my lighting setup. All right. I think it's pretty ID and yeah, maybe I do need the password, but I got 2-factor authentication on Facebook, so then it's going to kick back a whole thing. It just doesn't make sense. So we'll skip it. I'll figure that out. We'll tell you about that next time. Let's go back to a normal view. Here, let's go to that one. I like that I can switch on the front panel here. That is really pretty cool. Okay, that's it. So it works, man. This is a badass machine. That is for sure. It is working, other than the Facebook thing, but as unquestionably that is my fault. I did something stupid in there. This is a pretty cool device. I'm really stoked on it. I would love to keep it, but I'm sure I'm not going to get to. But this is cool. All right, guys, that's it. I'm out of here. Hey, tomorrow we might do the other one. We might do something else. I don't know. You know how this works. Make it up as I go. And as usual, thumbs up. Thumbs down if you hate it. Don't hate it. There's no reason to hate this. This is a good show. Yesterday's show is madness. I totally understand if your thumb down's that craziness. And yeah, that's it. All right, we're out of here. I'm going. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. This is the part where we pop things up in the corners here. Should roll for like another 20 seconds or so, but yeah, who knows what's going to happen. Okay. I'm loving it. I'm digging it. Oh, yeah. Wonder why this didn't work.